I'm a little lonely, I'm a little crazy, let's play some Minecraft. So I had a suggestion the other day. People want to know how to make their own point-to-point balloon or point-to-point drone. Basically something that is able to automatically fly from point A to point B. Basic principle behind how these works is there is a, I forget what it's called, let me grab one, navigation table right here that is given a lodestone compass that tells the machine where to go. And I use a deployer to swap out the compasses when it needs to go from point B to A, or A to B. When it is facing a direction, it is sending a signal up to or down to the fans, which slow down the fans so that the fans on the other side overpower it and push it in the direction. And to activate or deactivate the top fans or balloon, it is combining the redstone signals in every direction to a single redstone signal. So that way, when all directions are off, meaning it's directly over the target, it turns off the top thrust and falls directly into place. And on the bottom of these, there is a docking connector that when the docking connector gets close enough, it snaps the whole build into place, preventing it from moving, and aligns the catwalks so that you can get in and out easily. Get inside, and a little glitchy walking through these, but you'll see this redstone link start to shut down once we're over the target, indicating that we are over top of the destination. This is what activates the docking connector down below through that redstone torch. And these gears that I got from the Quark mod. See that? Perfect landing. Problem with the drone is sometimes when it lands, it will knock over to the side and won't dock correctly, and then it'll fly off in some random direction because it's now misaligned. So, I'm just going to kind of freeform this build because I've got some upgrades that I want to make. Just start this here. So first thing I'm going to want is a balloon, since that's going to be the more reliable of the two builds. I'm going to try to make this build a little more survival friendly because I used creative motors on the other ones, which are good if you want it to be fast, but it doesn't have to be creative motors to get it moving. Just use these because they look good. Can be literally any light block that's used to hold your balloon up above. Just choosing these because it's going to look better. There we go. Just block that as simple shape at first. Then we'll make sure she floats. Takes a second for the balloon to actually fill up and start floating. You want to make sure it's floating at every step of the process. That's going to make it a lot easier for later when you're trying to get it to launch. There we go. That's what we want to see. That's my rabbit in the background. Out of all the pets in this house, I thought she would be quieter for this, but go figure. So next up, we're going to want the navigation table, lodestone. I don't need that anymore. This is probably going to have some boring commentary to it. But first video with commentary, that's just how it's going to go. We'll get into more interesting stuff later. Just have the destination over here. And second compass. Okay. So next decision is where we want everything. Because I'm thinking having the analog transmissions close to the center this time, which might be a little more on the difficult end. The hardest part is trying to decide where everything goes to make it all work how you want it. Making sure everything's in the right spot. Let's see. No, I want it the other way around. Yeah, because I want the clutch close to the navigation table, because that will turn it off when it's directly above the target. Or I said I wanted the other motor this time. You're a scratchy bunny today. Probably not gonna have this recording go longer than an hour. Wait. Yeah, because this is that ensures that I have rotation to all 4 of my fans. I'm probably just going to use gears to get to the analog transmission. Forgot I'd have to put rotation into them. I don't even know why I went with commentary for this one, I'm going to be honest. I mean, it would have been perfectly fine without. Would have made the Russian viewer happy either way. I don't know how well he understands these things, to be honest. I see his comments all the time. It's just, I don't know. It's a lot of fun knowing my stuff is kind of around the world, or other side of the world kind of thing. Kind of fun knowing people from all over can enjoy this. But it also makes me wonder how well is what I'm making being communicated, you know? Probably gonna want a hopper for this too, considering it's a manual You want to make sure all of these are blowing outwards. On the front face. Gotta remember. So yeah, that'll ensure that is pointed that way. And then this can go... Because I want a one-way signal from the navigation signal, or navigation table, to my clutch. Just because if I don't, then I could have some cross wires between the different directions. So probably something like this. You could do this exact same thing I'm doing with the gears with redstone links. It would work just as well. I just don't like using redstone links because I'm afraid I'm gonna have one build use one signal, and then the other build's gonna use the same signal, and then I have them both on at once, and it's cross-wiring everything, and it's just all wrong. I'll put that one in there. Oh, does that turn that off? Oh, learn something new all the time, huh? Oh, that's right, I want those inverted. Because if that's going in any direction, then that means the clutch needs to be... Okay. We'll just move this down by one. So I could have a redstone torch on top of my target. And it will be... Nope. Funny thing happened before I started recording. I tried to get out my old microphone to get things working, and well, the old microphone did not want to connect for nothing. I even popped it open with my screwdriver and stuff to try to figure out what the heck went wrong with it, and couldn't figure out for the life of me what was wrong. We'll just put that one in this time. There we go. That's what we want. Eventually, I just had to ditch the microphone because the screen recorder just didn't want to connect to it. It didn't want to connect to the computer. It was a whole mess. So I'm actually recording this on my phone as a separate video, which I'm going to go into editing later and make sure that it's synced up to the video with little minute movements that I've done throughout the video. So I gave it that one, which means I'm only going to want one of those to go. Actually, the easier way to load this up, because last time when I was building the balloon, I discovered that if you click it with your hand, you could accidentally put too many in there, just because I had two in my hand. So it's actually easier to take that out and put the other one in. Then just to make sure that those were both different ones. Yep, they're both pointing in separate directions, so we got the correct ones. And that's the basic principle of this thing, I think. So if I turn this on, it should just... Aha. Forgot one crucial detail. Getting a signal over to the burner. It's another important thing. This is why I used redstone links on the other build, is because trying to connect this bit to the burner is extremely difficult. Probably would have been better had I gone with that, but there are workarounds, such as the laser pointer and laser sensor. Excellent little one-way redstone things. All I need is just a few going in each direction. All of them would be off. I only need two of them because this one gets from these two, and then the other one gets from the other two. So bust through there. Put the sensor there. It don't have to look pretty at first. You can always decorate it later. Andesite casing will be handy for this, because then I can just use redstone dust, or I can use the gears I've been using all the time. There we go. Just so it's symmetrical, we'll do that on all sides. No point in putting all the weight on one side. We'll just There we go. And then that should just work. And this is when we update the balloon size. Because she ain't big enough. It's the other reason why the balloon is really good for this build. Is because you can always make a bigger balloon, but adding more fans can be a bit of a pain. There we go, give her a sec, and she should start floating. Also, when using these analog transmissions, it's better to have the power going into the transmission via shaft and then gears for the fans rather than the other way around, because the other way around, if it's going too fast, it'll just freeze up on you, and that's not really good when you're trying to make something fly. Yeah, the other big disadvantage to these cog blocks from Quark that I like so much is they're really heavy. So that will add a lot of weight to your build as you go. Another reason you should probably use the create transmitters. And another way you could probably use the create transmitters to prevent cross-wiring is simulated here has the modulating linked receiver, because you can set a specific distance on that so you can have it only activate within the range of your balloon. And then on the other creation, hypothetical creation, you could have the modulating receivers on that one only within the range of that creation. That way there's no cross wiring until they get really close together. Wait, that big enough? Yes, it is. So then that should just get right over our lodestone and then drop from the sky. That's what we want to see. And then when I turn the crank for it to swap the lodestone, it should go right over fly right over our other lodestone and then just drop from the sky. Stupid phantoms. Hope the phone is actually picking this up. It'd suck if I got to editing and then just doesn't have anything. But if this works well, I might be able to use it again. Then you'd be hearing more from me. See, this is why I usually use the creative motor. It's a lot faster. I don't got all night. I don't got all night, so I'm just gonna switch it to the creative motor for now. Face in the same direction. Turn up the speed. And more. Now the guinea pigs are rumble strutting again. They're the ones I thought would be the problem. The dogs would be fine. They're asleep right now. So I ain't worried about them too much. Unless the oldest dog gets anxiety about his cage again, that's always fun. Yep, right on target. And now for the connection mechanism. Because I put this so close to the bottom, the connection mechanism should be super easy. Should be. Hold on. Yeah, because then that just goes into a bunch of redstone torches. Next, no. It needs to go into a single redstone torch, so I have a similar setup as the top, but going downwards. Don't know if I have something like that. But I think there's a way I can just kind of hack it, because if you do that, it inverts it, right? No, that wouldn't be enough. No, it would have to be... repeaters into there. And then the repeaters have the signal going down. And then I can just hack together something like this, maybe. Where it goes down, and then that. No, that would cause a redstone flickering later that I don't want. No. So what I actually want is this, maybe? Because I want the connector over the center. But then that's connecting when it flies up. I want it to disconnect before it... It's a little longer than I would have wanted it, but this will work. So now when this is over the target, well, before this thing. Oh, that's cross glass. Glass does not take redstone signal. There we go. And then that will connect to where we want it to connect. And then on the docking station, I had a whole fancy like laser to dock thing on the first balloon, but I learned with the drone that you can just do this. And it'll connect just fine. Case in point, if I build a little platform around this for it to land on. There we are. Well, I wasn't looking. So then if I just build another one of those over here. And then we set that thing to take off. I probably should have set that thing to take off and then built it over here, but whatever. So we Flip the direction. Drops down a bit. Yeah, that's why there's a flatter bottom on the other one. That can be fixed mid-flight. There we go. Of course, we'd want to add more balloons just so that it flies higher, but it's high enough for the test run anyways. And comes in for over the target, shuts off the engines, and snaps in place. And that is the basic concept about how to build one of these balloons. Next time you see this balloon, I'll have it spruced up and ready to go. But for now, that's all I got.